This is the yarn that I'll be using for my bucket hat, and I'll be using a 5mm crochet hook. First things first, you also need a stitch marker, which I have right here, and I chose to use a velvet yarn because it's winter and it'll be cozier to wear. So the first step, instead of making a slip knot, we will be making a magic circle. So with 3 fingers, I wrap the yarn around like this, and then kind of cross it in the front. I'll do that again so you can see better. Cross it in the front, and then lay it on the left side of the other kind of like string that you had. I don't know, it's easier to, I guess, watch this, but you will pull the left side under the right side and kind of twist it up, and then you kind of have this like loop. And if that doesn't make sense, there are tons of other videos on YouTube that you could probably find that make more sense. But yeah, anyway, I am just single crocheting in this magic loop 6 times. Now that we have our 6 single crochets, I'm just going to pull on the tail until it's kind of a little confusing, like it doesn't want to go at first, but if you play around with it a little bit, you can pull it and it just makes this tight little circle. You want to pull it as tight as you can, not crazy tight, but just so that there's no like visible circle. Now just count back and make sure you find the 6th like I'm doing here, and then I'm going to single crochet 1 in this first stitch, and I'm placing a stitch marker. So this just marks the beginning of each round. So now in each stitch around, you're going to single crochet 2 stitches in every single stitch. So at the end, you should have 12 stitches in total. So we already did 1 in the first stitch and placed our marker. So we're going to do 1 more there, and then we'll do 2 in the rest of the stitches all the way around. Okay, and onto the second round, you're just going to remove the stitch marker and do 1 single crochet in that stitch and replace the stitch marker. So now we're going to go to the next stitch and we're going to single crochet twice in that stitch. And then the next stitch we'll do 1, and then the next stitch we'll do 2. So this round is basically single crochet 1, and then in the next stitch single crochet 2. So you'll basically just increase or single crochet 2 in one stitch in every other stitch. So I made it to the end of this round, and just like the other rounds, I'm going to remove the stitch marker, do a single crochet, and then replace the stitch marker. So you might be noticing a pattern by now, but in the next stitch we will do 1 single crochet, and then in the stitch after that we will do 2 single crochets. So this round the pattern is single crochet 1, in the next stitch single crochet 1, and then in the next stitch you do 2 single crochets. And you will repeat this all the way around, and of course if this is confusing at all, just check out my blog where I have the full written pattern. Just made it to the end of this round, and I just sped the footage up here because I'm just doing the first single crochet and replacing the stitch marker. We already did the first single crochet, so in the next 2 stitches we will do 1 single crochet, and then in the 4th stitch we will do 2 single crochet. So this pattern for this round is 3 single crochet in 3 separate stitches, and then in the 4th you will do 2 single crochet in 1 stitch. So for this round, I'm just showing you here, I'm taking the stitch marker out, doing my first single crochet and replacing it. So now we will do 3 more just plain single crochets in the next 3 stitches. And then for the 5th stitch, you will do 2 single crochet in that 1 stitch. So this round is 4 stitches, you do 1 single crochet in each, and then the 5th stitch, you do 2 single crochet. So I don't want to bore you guys with a super long video because this pattern is actually really, really simple, but you're basically going to repeat this sequence of rounds until the piece is as wide as the crown of your head. So I originally, I think, did mine 6 inches, 6.5 inches or so across, and that fit for me. But just keep putting it on your head and seeing like if it fits the width. But basically the pattern, so for like the next round, it would be 5 single crochets and 5 stitches, and then in the 6th stitch you would do the 2 single crochets in that one. So you're just going to repeat that process each round. So you'll add like another single crochet stitch and then you'll do the 2 single crochet in one. And again, I have this like written out on my blog. I'll have the link down in the description bar below. But yeah, the sizing is up to you. I can't remember how many rounds I did, but I just kept going and making it bigger until it was the same width of my head. Once a piece measures the width of your head when you try it on, you're going to start with like the band of the hat. So now we're just going to single crochet all the way around in every stitch without increasing or decreasing or anything, and of course moving the marker when you get to it. And you're going to repeat the single crocheting around until the band kind of goes to right above your ear. So I kind of measured it when I put the hat on. I stopped where my ear kind of like met my head, where it like connects to your head. This is what my bucket hat is currently looking like, and now I'm going to start on the brim, and I'll show you guys how to do that, of course. So I first have to remove my stitch marker and do my first stitch and, of course, replace the stitch marker so we don't lose our place. So this round is basically like the second round that we did where we're going to single crochet 1 in 1 stitch and then the next stitch we will single crochet 2. So it's the increasing in every other pattern again. So I'm just doing my single crochet and then in the next stitch 2 single crochet, and you're going to repeat that all the way around the hat until you meet the stitch marker. I made it back to my stitch marker, and for the next part of the brim, we're just going to single crochet all the way around, and you're just going to do that for as many rows as you want your brim to be wide. I believe I did 8 rows. It was about 2 or 2.5 inches for me, and I liked that look for my bucket hat, but if you want it bigger or smaller or anything, by all means, you can make it as big or as small as you want. And of course, you're going to bind off at the end, which I will show you, as well as weaving in your ends. So I will meet you there when I'm done. And I'm just making it to the end here right now. And I'm going to just show you how I bind off really quick. It's super easy. We're finally going to remove this for the last time. I know it was really annoying putting it back on every single time. But you're just going to do a slip stitch into that last stitch, and then I chained one and just kind of pull it really tight so it kind of makes a knot, and then I cut the end. And last but not least, you just need a tapestry needle so that you can weave in all of your ends and make it look nice and professional, and so that you don't have these little ends kind of like dangling in your face, you know. So I'm just doing that here, and you guys can finish up and I will show you what the finished bucket hat looks like on. And this is what my bucket hat looks like when you put it on. I think this came out super cute as always, and again, perfect for the winter with this velvet yarn that I used. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe if you're new, and definitely give the video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!